Hello, I'm Prabhu Chawla. Welcome to the Explainers by the New Indian Express. Is it a relief for Vijay government or something else? We are going to discuss the implication of Supreme Court verdict on killing all animals in the state of Tamil Nadu. The Supreme Court is something the Tamil Nadu government had been fighting since July 1st. It hit pause on an order that could have shut down its legal trade overnight. That is what the government claims. Two judges, one stamp requires correction, unquote. And with that, a statewide ban on cow and calf slaughter, an order that covered every day of the year, not just Bakra Eid, has been frozen for time, for now at least. This started with a single petition asking for something simple: stop slaughter in public places. It ended with the Madras High Court ordering the state's top police officer to personally ensure no cow was slaughtered anywhere in Tamil Nadu, a scope nobody had actually asked for. On Monday, the Vijay government got the Supreme Court to hit the brake on that. But here's the part most coverage is missing. This is not a final verdict. It's a pause button and the legal fight hasn't even started yet. Here is the full story: what was ordered, why the state pushed back, and what this means for Tamil Nadu politically and legally, even religiously. On May 27, 2026, a division bench of Madras High Court, Justice G.R. Swaminathan and V. Lakshmi Narayanan, was hearing a public interest litigation. It had been filed by K. Surya Prasanth, General Secretary of Hindu Makal Kachi. His original ask was narrow: stop cows from being slaughtered in public places. But the High Court's final order went well beyond that. It directed the Chief Secretary and the Director General of Police of Tamil Nadu to, quote, ensure that no cow or calf is slaughtered on the eve of Bakra Eid or any other day, anywhere in the state. That is what one asked for. That was a blanket ban. Not just in public places, not just during Bakra Eid. Every day, everywhere, no exceptions were mentioned in that order. The court leaned on 1976 Tamil Nadu government order, which had justified restricting cow slaughter on the grounds of protecting milk production and rural economy. On July 1, the Tamil Nadu government, led by TVK's Vijay, moved the Supreme Court, filing a special leave petition challenging that order. On July 13, a Supreme Court bench of Justice Vikram Nath and Sandeep Mehta passed an interim stay on High Court orders, while issuing formal notice on the state's petition. The case will now be heard in detail little later. To understand why the state pushed back, you need to understand the law already on the books of Tamil Nadu statutes. The Tamil Nadu Animal Preservation Act 1958. This act does not ban cow slaughter outright. It regulates it. Under Section 4, no one can slaughter a cow, calf, bull, bullock, or buffalo without a certificate from a competent authority. And that certificate can only be issued if the animal is over 10 years old and unfit for work or breeding, or permanently incapacitated due to injury or disease. In short, slaughter is allowed, but only for specific animals under a permit system and only in designated slaughterhouses under Section 6 of the Act. The state's argument in the Supreme Court has three parts. Number one, they said the High Court order went beyond the scope of the original petition. The PIL asked only for a stop to public slaughter, not a blanket statewide ban. Two, they argued the order directly contradicts the 1958 Act. If the law permits regulated slaughter of certain cows, a court cannot override that through a petition without striking down the law itself. Third, the state said it has already taken preventive steps, identifying designated slaughterhouses, deploying officials, intensifying surveillance to stop any public slaughter, which was the actual ask in the original case. Senior advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi represents the state government before the Supreme Court. The bench appears to have found this persuasive, at least at the interim stage. It observed that the final paragraph of the High Court order, the part imposing the statewide ban, quote, prima facie required correction. Just correction only, please understand. That's an important legal phrase. It doesn't mean the Supreme Court has ruled the High Court was wrong. It means On the face of it, this looks like it needs fixing, but we will hear both sides properly before deciding. That is what the Supreme Court said. This is worth pausing on, because it is the most misunderstood part of the story like this. A stay is not a final judgment. It's an interim order. Think of it as pressing pause. The Supreme Court has stopped the Madras High Court's order from being enforced while it examined the state petition in detail. The court has issued notice, meaning the other side, including the original petitioner, K. Surya Prasad, will get a chance to respond. So legally, right now, nobody has won. The 1958 Act's existing permit-based system remains in force. What's paused is the additional stricter directive the High Court has added on top of it. Now, here is why this case has travelled so far beyond a courtroom. This is the first major legal test for the TVK government after winning the election, which led to actor turned politician Vijay took office. And it's now landed in one of the most sensitive fault lines in Indian politics: religious practice versus animal protection, framed inside a state versus judicial dispute, which is a challenging job for the new Chief Minister. Several outlets have already framed the Supreme Court stay as a big win for the Vijay government, and that framing matters, because how this plays out will likely become an earlier marker how the new government handles pressure on communal and religious issues and communal divide. There are a few political dynamics worth watching. One, the Hindu Makal Kachi, which brought the original PIL, is the Hindu nationalist outfit, and this case sits inside the broader recurring political contest in Tamil Nadu around cow protection, a subject that carries very different resonance in Tamil Nadu than in North India, given the state beef eating tradition across multiple communities. 2. Bakra Eid, the Islamic festival involving ritual animal sacrifice, is directly implicated, framing this as a ban on cow slaughter versus protecting religious practice during Bakra Eid are two different political narratives, and you will likely to see both viewed depending on who is talking in politics. 3. This case will now be watched closely as a test of how far high courts can go in expanding the scope of a PIL beyond what was originally pleaded, a legal question with implications well beyond Tamil Nadu. Beyond politics, there are real on-the-ground stakes here. Tamil Nadu has a functioning, regulated meat and leather economy that depends on licensed slaughterhouses. A blanket ban, even temporarily, creates uncertainty for traders, licensed slaughterhouses operators, and workers who depend on this state for their livelihoods. That is what the other side is saying. On the other side, again, the opposite to it, the 1976 government order, the High Court relied on what was framed around protecting milk production and rural economy, an argument tied to the farmers, especially in the state where dairy farming is a significant rural livelihood. And there is the religious and communal dimension as well. Cow protection intersects directly with the sentiments of Hindu groups on one side and the religious practice of Qurbani during Bakra Eid from Muslim community on the other side. Any judicial or political move here is read, rightly or wrongly, through that lens only, which is unfortunate. So where does this leave us? Here are 5 questions worth sitting with as this case moves forward. 1. When the Supreme Court finally hears this in detail, will it strike down the High Court's blanket ban entirely, or will it narrow the order back to the original narrower purpose, preventing slaughter specifically in public places? 2. Does this case set a precedent on how far a High Court can go in expanding relief under a PIL beyond that the original petitioner already asked for? That question matters for how courts across India handle future public interest litigation, which has become a fashion. 3. How will this play out politically for the Vijay-led TVK government? Having secured an interim win, will the state government now proactively push new regulation of its own, or is it content to rely on the existing 1958 framework? That is politics. 4. Will this become an active flashpoint in Tamil Nadu communal politics, with Hindu groups pushing for a stricter enforceable ban and civil society groups warning against selectively invoking a decades-old order rooted in Bakrai specific timing? 5. What happens practically on the ground in the meantime? Will there be a renewed slaughter of cattle in licensed slaughterhouses even as the case remains sub judice? And how will law enforcement handle any confusion around what's actually permitted right now under the law, or it will be misused? This is very much a developing legal and political story. So Supreme Court has only issued notice, not delivered a verdict. We will be tracing every hearing as it moves forward. If you found this narrative explainer breakdown useful, subscribe to the New Indian Express YouTube channel for more explainers like this. And let us know in the comments which of these 5 questions you think matter most. Thank you very much. Wait for my next explainer on next topic.